So welcome to Pass the Aux. This is a ongoing series by Tatler, co-hosted by myself, with my partner in crime here, Arthur Bray from Yeti Out.
What's up?
And Arthur just came from the studio, remixing some stuff. So very proud to have you join us again here.
For sure. I mean, last one was phenomenal because we had the one and only Andrew Ball, and
that's right.
I think we were meant to do the hosting, but I think Andrew did most of the talking. So, like, I think it went a bit over time as well because obviously there was a lot to cover. But
so, as with the first one, today's edition of Pass the Aux is being made possible. I've got some kind sponsors here. Dom Perignon. Thank you to Dom Perignon for being on board.
Shout out DP.
And it wouldn't be a Pass the Aux without our friends at Nomad Caviar. Jason Cohen, thank you very much. And of course, we're delighted that we're doing it right here in Dragon Eye, who've been very, very supportive. So let's get the show on the road, guys. We're going to be probably about an hour. We've got microphones later on for Q&A, so you'll have a chance later on to ask questions and make comments and share stories about this amazing institution and, of course, a legendary man himself. Sure. Before we bring him onto the stage, though, I think it'd be worth, as an introduction, to just check out this
little video.
Stay with me, guys. Stay with me. Yeah, let's turn it up. Wait for it. Wait for it. Trust me. Oh, wait. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Give it up. Give it up.
So, of course, ladies and gentlemen, he needs no introduction. It's kind of weird welcoming him into his own club, but ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gilbert Yeung.
Give it up for Gilbert. We've got a lot to cover tonight, but I guess just off the cuff, that was obviously a breakdance clip. Where did that take place? Because there's many coasts of Hong Kong, many beaches.
First of all, I want to thank everybody to come. It's a Friday afternoon. I'm sure everybody is very busy. To share my experience in the industry and what I learned over the years. So hopefully we're going to have a fun hour. And a lot of people here are my very good friends. And Silvio is my teacher, Alan Seaman, Andrew Boo, a very prominent figure in the industry. A lot of people in the industry like Ray that we really respect, and John Reiner, I'm sure they're here. And of course, my father. So this video was taking place in Yu in Discovery Bay. It was a movie by Yeung. It was called Xiu Le Yat Gay. So I don't even know why we were there, but yeah, we were there. We were there filming, yeah.
Before we get into the whole, expansive career, spanning club culture, record store in Toronto, there's a lot to touch on. From this clip as an early sort of look into your life, like maybe you can tell us a bit about how music impacted you as as a young person.
You didn't know that. I didn't know you were going to ask me that for the first question. So
it's gonna be a lot of curveballs.
Yeah, well, music is always part of our life. I'm sure all of us here, have a really great relationship with our roots of music, and I'm one of them. My roots were jazz, R&B, reggae, and then I developed into house music. Of course, the roots of dance music is disco, and it's always a part of my life. I love to collect it. I love to collect music. I used to have to go to HMV at least once or twice a week just to touch everything, listen to everything, and even to listen to music that I'm not interested in because I want to know, what's going on.
But what we really want to know, Gilbert, is can you still body pop like that?
Yes, we're gonna have a challenge.
We
later.
are indeed. We are indeed.
Yeah, we're gonna have a challenge. Yeah.
There we go.
But we got on the screen here pictures of you in the Hollywood Breakers.
Hollywood Breakers.
So tell us a bit about how did you get into the Hollywood Breakers exactly? Because I tried to get into the Hollywood Breakers and I didn't qualify.
He got into the Shengwan Breakers. It didn't quite work out that way.
Okay, so I was in a dancing competition in Hollywood Boulevard. I think 1983 or 84, and there was a dance competition there, and I think I was one of the runner-up, but I didn't win. So most of the contestants were Filipino. Yeah, so we start hanging out, and slowly we joined your club because your club wanted a breakdancing crew. So I was one of the members there.
So this is really, before you went to boarding school, right? So
Yes.
you were in Hong Kong.
No, I was in boarding school.
Oh, were you
already.
in boarding school at some
Yeah.
point? Okay.
Yeah. It was a summer of 1984.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you had time at boarding school in the UK,
Yes.
which I think was where you could also absorb yourself in a lot of music. I guess
Yes.
the scene in England was quite a fruitful area to discover new sounds.
Yes. Well, Top the Pops.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there you spent time in Toronto.
Yes.
Okay. So one of the things that you did in the next slide here. So this is Star Sound. So tell us about Star Sound.
Star Sound was a record shop. It's a dance record shop in Toronto on Yeung Street. It was a specialist shop for DJs, and they only sell dance music. And everybody who worked there was a DJs or wannabe DJs. So I was one of the wannabe DJs who worked there, because working at the record shop, one of the main reasons is because a lot of records back in the days, a lot of songs back in the days, they only press, maybe 200 or 300 of them, and just to do test copy. And each record shop maybe get 2 or 3 copies. So in order for us to be able to get the first copy, it was very important. So I will be the one who played first, because at that time, all the DJs have a bit of ego to be the first one to play the song. Yeah.
What were some of the records that you got your hands on first before other DJs?
Pump Up the Jam.
Okay, right, there you go. That's a classic for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so.
That gets a lot of replays in Dragon Eye too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's because you're talking about Toronto at that point, right? And coming from Hong Kong, obviously, submersed in what was a break scene there in East TST for the most part. What were the sort of the parallels between what you learned in Hong Kong as the music scene there and what was happening in Toronto? Was it completely different?
Well, Toronto, because it's in the East Coast,
Yeah.
so we're so close to New York. So a lot of the dance music was heavily influenced by New York. So a lot of some of the DJs who were lucky enough to be able to travel to New York, they used to get the vinyl, the records, back to Toronto. There was a place called Twilight Zone, which was the underground club in Toronto. So the DJs, the Assoon brothers, they used to get the records and bring it back. And then, there will be, noise on the street and saying, oh, the Assoon brothers just brought some records, from New York. So this weekend we have to go to Twilight Zone to listen to the new music. Yeah.
I think quite a few of us have worked in record shops. I've worked in a record shop.
Sure.
Put up your hand if you've worked in a record shop. Because working in a record shop is the best office in the world, hands down. It's
Yeah.
and it's so much fun. So what I did a bit of Google snooping around, and I actually found what 427 Yonge Street looks like today in Toronto. So if you're from Toronto, that's where it all happened. It's now a Toothworks.
Vacation, dude.
But yeah, so if you're in Toronto, look out for a Toothworks. Okay. So you're in North America, and you're now, as we can see here, you're beginning to meet some legends.
Heading out to the rave.
So this is, I think these are from 1996, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So talk us through what's going on here, Gilbert.
Well, I got to meet Louis Vega, which was my idol in music, and Kenny Dope in Hong Kong. I think it was Suki who brought him to Hong Kong, and I was carrying his records, and we became friends. And he called me one night from New York, and he asked me to go to. He invited me to go to his launch party for New York Soul. So Kevin and I, we went there on the picture on the right with India, who was his wife, who did the vocal for most of the Masterworks vocal. And the one on the left corner was George Benson, who was at that New York Soul party as well. And on the right bottom is Roy Ayers. It was Miami Music Conference. I think it was 96 or 97. And David Morales on the left. Yeah, everybody knows, his signature, topless.
I think some of these people we're going to see later on as well, because they come back into your sort of trajectory as a club owner, right? Yeah. So this is the 90s. And it's Strictly Rhythms going off, Nervous Records. What were some of your most memorable clubbing experiences out in New York?
I was very, very thrilled that again Louis called me and told me that it was a closing party going to be taking place in Sound Factory Bar. So it was also 96, 97, I think. So I flew to New York, be able to participate on that gig. Ultra Nate was there, Barbara Tucker was there, Kevin, you will see Kevin in a lot of these pictures.
Looking sober.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a great party, and we got to go to Twilo. So New York was the place to be, and I think it's still the place to be in terms of underground house music.
So then, let's go to this one. So this is you. You're back in Hong Kong.
This is not New York. we see Choi Wah in the background.
Choi
you know what I mean? Shout out Choi Wah. The boys are back in town. It's not Lower East Side, and there's this thing called G-Spot Production that pops up. Tell us a bit about, well, not the name, but tell us a bit about how that unit came to be.
Okay, so in 1998, 99, I was jobless. I just came back from Koh Samui and was just partying.
How long were we in Koh Samui for?
How long were you partying?
I was supposed to be there for two weeks, and I ended up staying for 10 months. Yeah.
That's definitely a record, man.
Yeah. Yeah, my parents didn't hear that. Okay, they're both here.
We can edit that out off the record.
Yeah. So I came back, and Gordon Lamb, which I met in London, I think it's 97, and he came back to Hong Kong, and I bumped into him, and we start talking, we start hanging out, and he was, me and him, he was jobless as well, and he was saying that, maybe one day, because the scene in the late 90s was quite stale and boring in Hong Kong. The economy was bad. A lot of people were leaving Hong Kong. So there was basically not that much places to choose from. So Gordon always said that, Gilbert, your name is Gilbert, my name is Gordon. So maybe one day, we can have a production company and call it G-Spot Production.
Right.
Yeah. So this was the opening. our office was walk up in Lan Kwai Fong in Zhongwan on the 4th or 5th floor. And it was the first day we Bison, right? And Jackson was there, and Jackson joined us, I think, a few months after. He was jobless as well. Yeah, yes. So it's 3 jobless, hungry, desperate guys. Yeah. And then another jobless guy was Kevin. Right. Yeah. And then he joined us. He was a messenger. Yeah. He was a messenger. Jackson was the guy who do with all the hard work, the realistic work. Gordon and I, we do creative and a bit of music and create events. So that was the Bison photo. Yeah.
You always need one person to do the hard work. That's the important.
And then the rest of the guys smoke cigarettes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
That's also super important. You always got to get the guy chiefing in the background. You know what I mean? Like, it makes it look cooler.
Well, you guys pretty quickly made a name for yourself. I'm going to show you just a few photos now of some of the gigs that you guys ended up doing.
I don't think anyone played basketball that night, but yeah, we're just going to leave that.
So talk us through this. And we see some familiar faces here too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know whether Herman Law is here yet. Herman. Yeah.
Shout out Herman.
Yeah, so how G-Sport started was I was having a haircut at his salon. He was cutting my hair, and he invited me to go to his new salon opening in 2 weeks. So, and he was going to have a party. So I asked him, I said, why don't you let us do your party? Let me do your party. And he said, Gilbert, no, you're a spoiled brat, you know, this, that. You're a punk, you have blonde hair, you know. No. So I said, please, give me one night, and we'll do your presentation. And he said, well, whatever. So one night, I get Gordon. Is Gordon here? Yeah. So I got Gordon, and we sat at California in Allen's place for the whole night. And then we came up with some concept and idea, and we proposed to Herman the next day. And Herman said, okay, Gilbert, I think I'm going to make a mistake. We're going to, because he already appointed Peter Wong to do the event. So he finally gave us an opportunity to do the event for him. So thank you, Herman. Thank you very much. So because of that event, we started to make a bit of a name for ourselves. So, and after that, funny enough, our next event was Hong Kong Chambers of Commerce. It was a government event. So, and then we did Moschino, we did Dior. This is the photos for Dior. We had Josie Ho, we had Pino Piano, who we respect so much.
Right here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We have Samir, who was,
Right over there.
yeah, who did the show, Kevin. And at the end, all the guys took off their shirt. Yeah, and a lot of fashion press were very upset with us. They said that these party boys didn't respect fashion and this and that. They only how to know how to organize parties. But yeah, so we had good news and positive news and negative news.
I mean, a big part of G-Spot production was also like the invites and the packaging, right? You guys had, different flyers, but also like, the sort of invites that you would send to the guests. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we got one here, right? Like this is 1999, December 24th. So this was at the Galleria in Queens Road. And in terms of the venues itself, it happened in various places?
Well, number 9 Queens Road in Central, at that time in 1999, was vacant on the 3rd floor. I think it was Joyce. Yeah, Joyce and Joyce Cafe. They moved out, and we just 3 hungry guys. We proposed to Galleria and asked them if we can rent the venue for one night and do a party. And they said, what kind of party? We didn't even know what kind of party we were going to throw. Yeah, on New Year's Eve. So we did a presentation to Carlsberg, and we did a Carlsberg party. And we didn't have any budget to do the invitation. So we just took the lid of Carlsberg and then put it on this. And RSVP was Gordon Lam. 96208771.
Still the same number.
Yeah, he still has the same number. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Complimentary
Okay.
ticket.
What have we got now? Okay, so
Moving on.
here we are. The famous Pink Mau Mau.
Yes.
So tell us about this.
Oh, Ping Mau Mau, I think was open late 90s, late 1999 or early 2000, maybe early 2000. So it was in my family's hotel, and it was a lounge, a nightclub, a bar, a beautiful place in Happy Valley. So after a few months opened, my father asked me to promote the club. But, you know, we were three Central boys, and we were like, oh, Happy Valley, we don't know if we'll do it. But after I discussed with Jackson and Gordon, so we decided to do a Wednesday night there. So we had to negotiate with Kenny, who was in charge of Ping Mau Mau, who is standing there, whether we'll get a 13% percentage from the bar or 14.5%, something like that. So we managed to get 14 or something like that percent of the bar.
And you shared that equally.
No, I get 50% because I was the one who brought the deal, and Jackson get 25 and Gordon get 25. But at that time, you know, making a few thousand extra dollars per week was a lot of money, you know, for us.
Loving the sleeveless look, man. That was definitely the era.
Yeah.
Well, you guys look in control here.
Yeah.
And there's a big crowd.
Yeah, and we have a really good musician in the middle playing the drum.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna shout out.
The bongo player, Mr. Yeung himself is the bongo player.
Yeah, get it. Sure.
And also, it pretty quickly became the place to be, right? I mean, we got some pictures now that just some of the regulars and the famous faces that would come to Pink Mau Mau. How did you handle all of this attention and you know, paparazzis and everything? Was it crazy?
Yeah, it was really good. You know, we had at that time we brought Charlotte, who was I think Australian or New Zealand girl, and she had tattoo all over her. You know, 20 years ago, it was a big thing. You know, to have tattoo all over her. She had tattoo on her neck to do the door, and the lobby every Wednesday was a chaos. Everybody were there waiting for the lift. It was a great night. One of the regular there was my father. He used to go there a lot and support us. Yeah.
So, I mean, tell us a bit about, okay, now it's early 2000s. What's like the sort of club scene like in Hong Kong? Obviously, East TST has its thing. Andrew Bull's still hungover. And, no, I'm joking. And so, who's DJing? What's the scene like currently?
Yeah, well, we brought our DJ, Jennifer, which in my career, I think he was one of the most talented DJ. Gilbert, I think he also won the DMC champion in the 80s. And it was so funny because we were hanging out with a lot of the fashion people. So we had LMF.
Yeah.
They actually even did a improvised night. We had a lot of musicians that they just did improvised night for us. So it became a very organic night to grow. Yeah.
And a very popular place for people to get together. Is that right, Jason? Jason Cohen, I think, went on his first date with Taryn there.
So Pink Mau Mau obviously sort of pronounced what would soon come in the next following slides. But looking back at this, was there certain things that you think were definitely the foundations to what would later help you launch bigger clubs?
Okay, the foundation of the place was very funny because at that time Central was quite quiet, and for us to do a Wednesday night to pull people from Central, we felt really good. Well, we were able to pull the people and our friends to Happy Valley. But if you talk about foundation of nightlife in Hong Kong, we have to give it to Sylvia Wang and Andrew Bull. Because in the 80s...
Yeah, round of applause. Two legends.
Yeah, Andrew. Yeah. So for the young people here that doesn't know Andrew, Andrew was the DJ for what I know is disco, but it was before disco. I know he played at the Sin. He's actually sent me a picture of him DJing with my father dancing in the background. Yeah.
At the Taipan Club, if
Yes.
I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
A lot of footage.
Yes.
That was in Tatler as
Yes.
well. And we were
pull
there.
that
We
out, man.
recorded that moment.
Yeah. So Andrew created disco with Golden Heart, and then Canton Disco. I'm sure everybody knows Hot Gossip.
City.
Yeah, and Silvio with Hollywood East. So I was just asking them whether they were a competitor, but Silvio, I learned so much from Silvio. At that time, he already imported foreign DJs, Gary, Tony B, Alan James Jewell, who is still around working for Alan Seaman now. So I learned so much from him. He used to deck up the place every 6 months. He was just a legendary. And I think that I respect them, how they lay out the foundation and step it up for the sophisticated nightlife of Hong Kong. So my respect to both of you. Thank you.
Here we go.
Okay, so we're going to watch a video now. It's time for another
Short
video.
doc.
Well, this is a video that we filmed before Dragon Eye opened. And this was a video that I have to do and send it to Christian Liègre, who was a Parisian from France, the designer. I have to give them the brief. I forget my look, forgive my look, forgive my language. I was a little young punk. So, yeah. So I had to, yeah.
I'm Gilbert, Gilbert Yeung. I'm going to be the owner of this restaurant. So I'm just going to give you a brief introduction of the place. This is the venue. This is the ground floor of the place. The escalator, as you can see over there, is the staircase. It's an escalator to take you upstairs to our venue. So let's take a look at this. This is us. We own this as well. This terrace and the gardens. I will show you. And this is the building. This is the building's lobby. Hello, hi. This is the building's lobby. How you go up to the offices upstairs. But this is us. Are we still filming? Okay. This is our venue from here to all the way down there. So we want the entrance to be here. So why don't I'll show you. If we're going to have the entrance here, as you come up, this will be the lounge. We're going to do a really beautiful, very cozy, very rich, very New York kind of lounge to be here. And the toilets are inside. And initially I'm thinking to put the bar around here. This will be the bar. And on the other side, it's going to be the restaurants. This kind of venue in Hong Kong is very, very rare in Hong Kong, with a beautiful garden outside and a terrace and with a ceiling height. And at the moment, this is the really, really prime location in Hong Kong, where all the fashion people and all the trendy people hang around here at night. So hopefully we can work together. And if you need any more information, please ask Patrick or yourself to call me. Okay, thank you.
You weren't a young punk. You were a very polite young punk. Yeah. Hello, hi.
You gotta say hi to the neighbors, man.
Yeah.
They're good. So this is obviously, it's a pre-Zoom call, pre-Skype, and you're talking to your interior designers in Paris, and you're referencing New York clubs. You're putting these ideas on a global scale. But before all the success and all that, like, what were some of the challenges? Because I can't help but think that, when you're doing something at this grand scale, that it might be hard to convince your neighbors that, this is going to be a good idea and they're not going to bleed their years out,
Yeah, well, Nicole Garnold, when from 97, Club 97, so when I brought that idea to her, she thought I was crazy. But let's talk about the venue, how we got the venue.
Yeah.
We had to do quite a few presentations to Sino Group, who was our landlord. And we had to ask, Nicole was such a good friend, so she was pretending she was one of our shareholder. Because at that time, we didn't have any experience in F&B, we didn't have a portfolio. And Gordon and Jackson, we worked out a concept, an idea together. We proposed to the landlord a few times, presentation, but there was quite a few people were fighting, bidding for the venue, but we still didn't get an okay from them. So I had to, finally, I went to my father's, I went to his office. I told my father I need his help. I asked for his help, and I told him my vision, my concept that Gordon and Jackson and I put together, and my father said, okay, let me call Robert Ng for you. So he called Robert Ng in front of me and asked Robert Ng to have lunch with us at #1 Harbour Road in Grand Hyatt Hotel. So my father and I went to see Robert Ng, and I learned that from my father, and he said that as soon as we sat down, he said, Robert, my son is very interested and passionate about your building, the venue, but the original venue that we wanted was downstairs at where Bungalow, or no, not Solus.
The Edge.
Yeah, that was our original ideal venue because we like ground floor. So Robert was Uncle Robert. He suggests, why don't you take upstairs on the first floor, because the first floor you can also take the terrace. So maybe it's even more exclusive, to do your concept upstairs. So I went back, I discussed with Jackson and Gordon agreed about having it on the top floor, on the upper floor, and then we call our feng shui master, and the feng shui guy said, yes, it is a much better feng shui here. So we took Uncle Robert's suggestion, and thanks to my father, and now I'm very grateful. I've been very grateful for the help my father gave me. 我好感恩我爸爸幫咗我，yeah， 實現呢個，yeah。
And next year is the 20th anniversary of
Yes.
Dragon Eye. So
Yes.
we're right on the almost 2 decades.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's right. Where's the time gone, huh?
Yeah.
Where's the time gone?
Yeah.
All right. You opened Dragon Eye, and pretty quickly, I think there was a focus on music, right? So this is your opening night. If I'm
Yeah. No, that's the opening night. That's the first year anniversary.
of first year anniversary.
Yeah.
And we got Jocelyn Brown here.
Yeah.
Legendary Jocelyn Brown. Again, Nuyorican Soul
Yeah.
associate.
Yeah.
And you've got your DJ Spen.
Yeah, DJ Span. Jocelyn Brown was one of our favorite singer. To be in this business, the best satisfaction that you get, one of the best satisfaction you get is you get to meet your childhood heroes, and imagine you had your childhood hero, you get to meet your childhood musicians, hero, and they perform at your place. And you get the response from your friends and from your guests. Is such an incredible high, to do that. So DJ's band from Basement Boys is one of our favorite DJ, and we had him to DJ at our anniversary, and we always try to get someone to pick them up in the airport and then take them to the airport the next day. So Kevin, as our messenger, was the guy who picked DJ Span up, and then while we having dinner before the gig, he said to DJ Span, he said, "Hey Span, I don't think I'll be able to take you to the airport tomorrow morning. So here's $500. So why don't you just take a taxi, to the airport tomorrow morning?"
One-way service.
Yeah.
This is just a very small selection of the many, many photos. But I thought that this would be a good
Some familiar faces.
a good snapshot here of the kind of crazy parties that happened right in this room over the years. Dragon Eye really was a kind of a magnet for music lovers, but also kind of like the scene. Anyone who's on the scene really, came here. I think we can see some very familiar faces here, and of course, the models were pretty much part of what was happening here as well, and some friends there. What are some of your most memorable nights here?
I Love Hong Kong was one of the greatest party that we did. We've done school party a few years in a row. When we did the school party, I think 90% or 95% of our guests and friends always dressed up. One of my most memorable night, the opening night here on the left was the opening night. India Madhavi was our designer, Hervé Guillaume. So we were just introducing the guests to them. And we had Mini-Me. We had Mini-Me, we have Coolio, Sugar Hill Gang, Solomon.
Yeah. Got them on here.
Yeah, and of course, one of our biggest hero was J.K. Jamiroquai on our 7th, I think, or 9th anniversary. And he came, and he was such a cool guy. He actually came for a few nights before the gig, because originally he was doing his R&R. I didn't even know what R&R was. It was rest and recreational time in Thailand. It ended up not to be.
Hang on. Yeah. Gilbert, you spent 10 months in Koh Samui, and you didn't know what R&R in Thailand.
No. So he was so cool. He wanted the money half, 50% of the fee up front, and the other 50%, when he arrived in the airport, we have to put it in a James Bond briefcase.
Mad.
To give it to him. So he was amazing. And when he came, and every night he was breakdancing upstairs in the office with us, partying, and he took so many girls back to his hotel. But the next day, I asked the girls, I said, "Hey, what happened?" And they said, "No, nothing happened. He just talked about cars all night and break dance." Yeah, he would just break dance and talk about cars. So, such an amazing guy. Yeah.
Should tap him for the Hollywood breakers,
So I think we got here on the top left. It's the Sugar Hill Gang, right?
Yeah, Sugar Hill Gang is one of my childhood. Rapper's Delight, that song, I'm sure is everybody's favorite song you grew up with. So to have them to come and perform, it was an amazing feeling.
I remember it was like, I think 2008 was Martinez Brothers DJing here, but they played on Friday and they had to be back at school on Monday.
Yeah.
And so they were just doing the gig here and then go back to New York.
I think that's the next page.
We got a photo of them coming up.
Okay, so we can talk about Pharrell.
Let's talk about Pharrell.
I don't know, Kevin Poon is still here.
Shout out, Kevin.
Yeah, KP. So thank you for Kevin Poon. You know, one thing that out of our all these years, we were very grateful that there are quite a few gigs that we did wasn't about money. We had Snoop Dogg, we had Dr. Dre. Thanks to Darren Shaw who put us together. That the fee was almost nothing. And Kevin, thank you so much. You brought Pharrell to us for nothing almost, because Pharrell give face and trusted Kevin Poon. So I'd like to say thank you to you, Kevin. Yeah.
But did he want a briefcase attached to his hand like JK?
Sorry?
Even though he didn't get paid, did he want a briefcase
No.
given to him on arrival?
Boy, he just wanted Kevin Poon.
Yeah. In a briefcase.
Bottom right, that's Roy Ayers. And I mean, that must. How did you feel? You met this guy 10 years before, and now he's playing in your club.
Amazing, yeah. And we were brought up with one of his songs that not too many people know. It was one of my favorite songs, Poo Poo La La. Yeah, and I love that song. And I was able to listen to that song right here. The picture was right at that spot. So it was amazing. He was playing Runaway, and he was so cool. I'm sure he was a player when he was younger. So yeah, cool guy. And it was so cool, all these music guys that we met over the years, they're all so cool and relaxed. Including William Hong.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, William Hong was one of the
sensational.
a really fun event that we did. Yeah, so yeah, as you know, William Hong was the American Idol guy, and we just came up with this idea and said, well, why don't we just get William Hong to sing that? What was that?
She Bangs.
She Bangs. So the whole place here was was smiling, but not making fun of him. We didn't want the idea of having him is making fun of him. We just want to have a laugh, and we just wanted to see people smile. So we were so happy that we brought smile to everybody's face that night.
You got Snoop there on the top right. You had Snoop and Dre.
Yeah, we got Snoop and Dre, and they were so professional. When they came, the rider was so professional, who's doing the lights, who's doing this. And there are 3 criteria when they came. They said they need a 60-inch plasma TV so that they can play the PlayStation in the room. They need bass in the gig, and they need McDonald's. So that was, and they were so, because it makes it trigger me that, when you're at that level, you don't even have any more ego anymore. So full respect, to them.
I mean, I think on the production side, a lot of, people, partying, or the punters here enjoying themselves don't realize how much goes into the back end of things, setting up, obviously the riders included. For the sound system in Dragon Eye itself, I know you guys kind of went through a little bit of back and forth as to like what sound system you guys would end up choosing. Yeah, I mean, tell us a bit about how you guys, settled on what you guys use now.
Okay, so when we first opened Dragon Eye, we used to use JBL, and at that time was already very good. And then we opened Tasmanian Ballroom, and Tasmanian Ballroom, we used the Function 1. And right after we heard Function 1, I was like, wow, that's amazing. Let's upgrade Dragon Eye sound system. So we asked our sound guy, Kenzo, from Tokyo, and Kenzo suggested, he said, don't use Function 1, because Function 1, they need the height, they need ceiling height for the sound to travel. So he said, he said Louis Vega and some US DJ is starting to use this new sound, well, it's not a new sound system, it's called DMB, it's a German sound system that they use in theater, because you guys play house music, so it really brings a warm sound. So maybe you can try it. So we contact the DMB dealer in Hong Kong. We contact the Function 1 people in Hong Kong, And Kenzo suggests us, why don't you do a sound test at Dragon Eye? So we asked both sound dealer. So we set up a wall in the back there for Function 1 and a wall back there for D&B. So we had the same song, Plastic Dream. So we asked them to play 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds on each sound system. So after 7, 8 minutes, it's very obvious that not D&B won, but it was obvious that D&B sound better in this room. So we chose D&B. And we also work quite carefully on acoustic, on material that we use, on ceiling. We use this Juraco so we try to pay attention to the quality of sound, so to ensure the warmness that you'll get and the impact. So we don't have to play loud music that will hurt your ear, that you can still feel the energy. So that's always our aim.
Is that how you choose your DJs as well? You put them in a sound clash? Because I mean, there was the era of DJ Dim Sum. There was like the Wednesday hip hop nights were iconic as well during the 2000s.
Yes, if you want to talk about Dim Sum, Dim Sum is one of the most talented DJ that we come across. He was the only few ones that always played with Jazzy Jeff back to back, scratching. So yeah. Sure. I think we're running out of time.
Well, speaking of DJs here, these are just some of the amazing guys you've had behind the decks. Was there a particular favorite? I mean, obviously, Louis Vega, someone very close to you. Top right there, David Morales still doesn't have a shirt on.
Makes an appearance again.
Yeah.
10 years after Miami Music Conference, still not wearing a shirt.
So, okay, we have...
Hasn't worn a shirt since.
We have Dimitri from Paris on the right corner, Louis Vega, of course, and the one in the middle was Martina Brothers. So I'm sure everybody know that they are massive now. And the guy who was holding the headphone, he was 15 years old at that time. So their father brought them, from New York. So the father was listening to them play and had to make sure that they back to the hotel. But at that time, when they were 15 and 17, there were already so many girls were like, going crazy because they had that, that flair. So, and now they're massive. And the one on the left was Avicii. Now no longer here, but R.I.P. May he was already very stressed. I could feel the stress with him that, because he wasn't really a DJ. He was just an excellent producer because of his fame. So he gets all these crazy offer for DJing. So I remember we had a really good agent and friend, Chris Samba, who was able to spot this up-and-coming DJs for us. So when we booked Avicii and Kevin Harris, they were just on their way up. So the fee wasn't that high. So the next year, when we tried to book Avicii and Kevin Harris, they were already playing at Vegas for like 200,000 or 300,000 US for a gig. It was no longer able. They asked us, Dragon Eye, what was the capacity again? We're like 250. They're like, no. No. Yeah. So Bob Sinclair, and on the left corner is Larry Heard, and I'm sure everybody, well, not too many people. But for the people who love music, who doesn't know very well Larry Heard, he is Larry Heard. Yeah. Mr. Fingers.
Say no more.
Okay, well, it might be easier for people to recognize the faces on this next slide. I think one of the things Dragon Eye is known for is being such a magnet for celebrities, and you've just had countless, famous people come here, and this is just a small sampling of the kinds of bold-faced names you've had through, and you can see you've got a whole bunch. Was there anyone particularly memorable? Who's your favorite? Who's the one you remember most fondly?
The night that we loved so much was the Real Madrid team that came here. So I was in the gym, and one of our managers called me, and he said, the Real Madrid team are coming tonight. I'm like, is David Beckham coming? It's like, yes. I said, what about Roberto Carlos? Yes. I'm like, boss, the whole team is coming. I'm like, really? So right away, I called my father because he was a big fan of David Beckham. So it was a fantastic night. It was so crazy that they missed the training the next day. Yeah.
Job well done.
Yeah. But David, out of all the celebrity that luckily, humbly speaking, that have visited us, Sting was a very cool guy from Police. Rihanna was cool. David Beckham was a gentleman. I remember the second time that he came, there was a queue of ladies waiting for him. So his bodyguard will come to us and said, David, not Mr. Beckham, David is having dinner now. So after he finished dinner, he would speak to the lady one by one. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, but it's such a gentleman and so much class. So, yeah. And LeBron James, the U.S. basketball team came. That was Chris Martin from Coldplay. Linkin Park, that came. Yeah, it was amazing. Michael Jordan, of course. Yeah. So Michael Jordan was also, I think he came out, I don't know, once or twice. But also, I can't mention, but anyway, he was very cool. He was very cool. Very cool.
Well, we can edit. We can make a careful edit here.
Jordan's face
No,
looks...
but you just told me there's certain things I cannot say.
Tatler can make an
Let's not go
exception.
there. Let's move on.
Move on. Move on.
Yeah, it's 5:30.
It's 5:30.
I think
It's too early. Maybe after a few more drinks, we'll look at the real
we'll run the
story.
second podcast at 12.
Okay, so when I was preparing the slides for today's Past the Aux, actually Gilbert said something just kind of sweet. Actually, he said, "Hey, can I?" He sent me these photos and said, "Please, like so many friendships were forged here, so many regulars over the years." He said, "I just want to show like just some of the friends that are dear to him," and so we did that right here. So we put together some of these photos because you sent me these and you said you wanted to. Just say a few words.
When we dig into our photos, we always see Amanda Strand on the last 20 years of our events. Amanda is here. Please stand up. Thank you for supporting us. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, she always support us. And then Travis, who is a great guy, who is here. Yeah, please stand up. Yes. A great DJ. He's playing after with with Arthur. I will introduce Arthur later. He's such a up and coming DJ. He's ghetto. He's real. So much respect from the industry.
Gilbert's my publicist, by the way.
Yeah.
He hasn't signed the contract yet.
Yes. Nisa, I hope she's here. Yeah. Peter Zhang, yes, thank you. And Roy Malik, he's a guy that we have to please put your hands
Big up
together
Roy.
for Roy Malik.
Roy and Ivan as well.
Yes, everybody love him
Ivan.
in the industry. You know, Roy Malik, he had his record shop in 1983 or 82 at the little place. I think it's the size of this, like this, in another World Disco in Holiday Inn. So all the DJs been following him for years, selling records. His life is about records and music and contribution to the industry. So total respect for Roy Malik. And Ivan, Helen, yes. So Marina Boulevard and Pino. I respect Pino so much. Pino still, he told me, he said, Gilbert, I still go for lunch at Gaia every day and work. And after that, I think you do yoga, and then you go back, you do briefing, you serve dinner, you talk to your friends, you actually, 即係捧餐, and you do everything. And I asked him once, I said, hey, Pino, it's so late, it's 12 o'clock. What time is last call at your restaurant? It's a restaurant. He said, we never have last call. You know, until the last customer leave, that's our last call. And he said, I don't smoke anymore. He doesn't, but he said, I don't mind if people smoke next to me. I'm a restaurateur. So I have so much respect for him. And Marina, yes, you know. And Marina Boulevard, I learned so much from Marina when she was at Key Club. She has such a strong Grand Hyatt 6-star hotel background, and I learned so much from her. She is my mentor. She's like my sister. She's working with us now. When she was working at Key Club, the way how she promote. When you go to Key Club, when you know that Marina is there, it's like, oh, great, you know. So respect, yeah, Marina. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And Nicole Gano, who's there, I learned a lot from her, from Club 97. And then we have Bruce Rogovitz, who is also one of our partner from Pure Yoga. Coco, I hope it is.
It is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Maggie Q, who was a great supporter of us. And Alan Seaman, yes, who we did, yeah. By the way, Alan is one of my really big mentor. I learned a lot from him. I used to work for him. I used to DJ at California, and he taught me a lot. The big thing he taught me always was, Gilbert, get married. Gilbert, get married. Gilbert, get married. Yeah, so I got married. Yeah. I mean,
We haven't even gotten onto Tasmania Ballroom or Casio yet. I mean,
we have time?
We've done one slide on each. Just I think it might, you know.
Okay, I'll make it really quick.
We'll make it really
it's Friday.
quick.
I know everybody have to go.
Yeah, here we go. So this is Taz.
So Tasmania Ballroom is a place that we wanted to do something that I used to hang out in pool halls with my Toronto friends. Here is Alfred here. No show again, right? Yeah. Yes, that's my friends. You know. Yeah, we used to hang out in pool hall. So we really want to do something different, and then Dragonite. So we did Tasmania Ballroom. And we wanted to do ping pong on Tuesday. We took advantage of the ceiling height. So we managed, thank you for Jackson. Jackson was a magician who was able to manage to talk to the contractor to be able to pull the table up to the ceiling every Tuesday and Thursday and put ping pong table there. I asked Jackson, I said, you know, that light in the terrace, that's lamp, that street lamp is affecting affecting us. So he managed to find someone at night to block the lights. So thank you for Jackson for many things that you do. So Tasmanian Ballroom, yes, one of the party that we enjoy. If you can see underneath, we invited 2 girls that we found on the Entourage TV series that they were playing ping pong. So they were both very sexy, and we thought it was a great idea to brought them. One of them used to play for Kazakhstan ping pong team, not Thailand ping pong team. And the other one used to play for Korea. So it was a great event.
Let's do Casio.
Yes, so Casio, it was a gig that is a place that we really feel that there's a room for Hong Kong to have a place that will do tech house, deep house music. because that's the music that we love currently. So, and the environment that we love and the concept that we love. So we developed that. And my father taught me, he said, it's quite important if you have your outlets near your base. So it makes your life much more easy for you to manage. So so that's what we did. And that's him, my father. I think that we finished.
Yeah. Well, we've got question time now. If anyone has a question or a comment, or just raise your hand. We've got a microphone here. Jason, right here.
Gilbert, we've become friends recently, and much respect for your legacy. Just want to know, I really appreciate your creativity. How, and we're both creative people. How do you stay inspired, and how do you, where do you find your source of creativity? Because I always appreciate the amount of effort you put into production and creativity, and your invites. It's very thoughtful. Most people don't pay attention to those details. The experience from the wording, packaging, how you walk through the door, the smell, the scents, the toilet.
Okay, the creativity, I have to say, a lot of them is from Gordon Lam, who was the one who do our creativity. So Gordon was the one who do a lot of our creativity, and we, I'm sure like all the other creativity people or operator, they get a lot of they get most of the inspiration by the traveling. At that time, there was no social media. There was no, I hardly know internet still. So a lot of them by reading books. I go to Tokyo a lot, and I hang out in the bookshop and just read and get books, and get a lot of books with no words. Yeah, so just look at pictures, get inspired. And I do a lot of YouTube. Yes, and we just like to keep exploring, trying new things. We made a lot of mistakes the way we went forward. But Swami, your creativity is amazing. Yeah. Robot Heart, Wonder Fruit. If you haven't been to Wonder Fruit, I suggest you go, because it's a very, very forward-thinking event. It's about wellness, about music. It's about going crazy. It's about going nuts. It's about family. It's about a value of life. So. Yes, creativity also, Swami. Yeah. And David.
Any more questions?
We've got one over here.
Hello. Well, Gilbert, obviously you've been involved in the music industry for 20 years. And what's been most amazing from my side is seeing you reinvent yourself so many times. As music's changed, you've managed to stay on the cusp of all those things. And, thank you very much, because Gilbert once came to me during our Basel and he said, "What's your favorite song?" And I told him that it was Candy Staton, "You've Got the Love." And then he said, "Well, let's bring her here." And so he brought my favorite singer to sing my favorite song here. We were supposed to go here, but we ended up at Tasmania Ballroom, and it's like one of the highlights of my life. So first of all, thank you for that. But you've reinvented yourself so many times. When were the times when you heard a song when you were like, okay, this changes everything. Everything's going in a totally different direction?
I don't really know what your question is, but
okay. Well, let me be clearer then. So, you were stuck in a disco sort of phase, and then all of a sudden things changed, and there must have been a moment when you were like, okay, deep house, or Chicago house, or tech house, or something like that. There were moments where there was a song which kind of changed the whole direction of the way things were going.
Well, I think the roots of our music, I think most of us here, the DJs, Ivan, Roy, so many DJs here, Helen, our roots is always the same. Our DNA was disco, was jazz funk, was hip hop, was reggae. So we just branch out, and I am very lucky that I did branch out. Rather than, I know that some people, they are stuck in one era or stuck in one genre. So yes, there are songs that we love, that that inspire us, and I think I was quite lucky that I have an ear when I hear a song that I believe is going to be a big song. So yeah, so that is us.
Okay, well, any more questions? If there's no more questions, we will. One from.
Small or tall one, or
I see what you did there.
Okay, but please, can you just move this picture for now? It's Friday.
Nothing bad, Gilbert. But James, I think, was asking or trying to ask, while self-promoting, what your favorite record is. When it's late at night and your top is off, you have your trusty go-to playlist. Which one of those is your very favorite song?
I think Love is a Message, MFSB, The Boss, Diana Ross. I like a lot of the Fugees album, the first one, Fuji album. Pupulala, yeah.
It's The Boss, because you are the boss.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to be hearing some of those songs later because we're going to get the deck set up. And
I've got one more question. Gilbert, how many times have you dyed your hair, and what colors have they been?
No, I only dyed yesterday
I saw, like,
for this.
if we go back to Michael Jordan's photo, I saw his face was lighting up green. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It was good. It was good. I was like, yeah, forward thinking.
well, you know, the night is still young. We're going to get the deck set up. I know a lot of you got USB keys on you. We're just going to back to back until the Dom Perignon winds up. But thank you so much, Gilbert.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gilbert Yeung.